Good evening, everyone. So, welcome to the Learning Express YouTube channel. Today, I'm going to give some outlines for the interview at IISC Bangalore under the Department of Electronic System Engineering. So, first of all, I will tell you about this department. We basically have three specializations. One is ESC, second EPD, and MVLSI. So ESC Electronic System Engineering and EPD Electronic Product Design and MVLSI Microelectronics and VLSI Design. So as I have knowledge of all the three specializations interview, I got some requests about the what kind of interview experience I faced and what kind of questions they asked or what was the exactly procedure for the interview. So today I'll share all the things one by one. First of all, if I talk about the interview experience, and before that, it starts like from, if I talk about from very starting. So after the document verification, the first step is the written test. So for all, I'm talking about for all three. First they take written test. And the second is the written test, then they take the interview. So now the point is what kind of questions they ask for the written test. This written test goes for 30 minutes. And in this 30 minutes, 10 questions. Now these questions are from the subjects we have studied in GATE only, GATE subjects only. So I have some details for the questions. And if I talk about the subjects from they ask the questions. So first thing is from maths, they ask some good questions. So the questions are like somehow similar to the GATE exam level or maybe some slightly higher than. Cannot expect below that. So the first they ask from maths. If I talk about maths, in maths they ask the questions from can say PNC in permutation combination and probability. So the questions were on slightly can say difficult side. So you have to prepare with these concepts in mathematics, and it is known that I also heard from the seniors, IISc is known for the mathematical questions. Like they can ask an interview also some good permutation questions or can say probability questions. They can also ask in written test. So two questions from mathematics were asked from permutation combination and probability. And after that, all the questions were like one, two questions from digital electronics on the average side. And for that, we have to prepare for the sequential circuit mainly. And we have to revise all the concepts. Actually, we are already gone through the subjects very well throughout the preparation of GATE. So now we have to revise the concepts of sequential circuit for the digital electronics. And the major part of the focus in test was like electronic devices and analog questions. Some questions from EMT also, and after that, one two question communication and signal system also. So for EDC, and so mainly electronic devices, they ask from diode, or can say MOSFET internal working, can say MOS and diode. So we can expect questions like similar like GATE. So no problem in that. Just revise the basic concepts. And after that, from analog electronics, they can ask from like op amp and amplifiers and op-amp and amplifiers. So they can ask questions from these to basically revise these concepts. And from EMT, yes, good questions from transmission line. From transmission line. And at the end, okay, antenna can be also there. So you have to revise the EMT also, because two questions can be expected. Two questions from EMT can be expected, two like. So anyhow, they just form the basic questions, 10 basic questions. Mathematics, electronic devices, digital, EMT communication, maybe some signal questions. So it may vary according to the maybe can say a specialization for MVLSI, for ESC, and for also can say EPD. So depends on that. But be prepared with the questions. At least revise the basic concepts so that you can write the exam properly. And after that, the idea is about interview. Okay. So now we come at interview. In interview part, if I can say, what was the basic procedure of, can say not procedure, but basic flow of the interview. So first they ask about the BTP. It is a, I can say you have to be well prepared with the BTP, BTech project, can say. You have to be well prepared with BTech project. So you cannot avoid this. At least you should have the detailings and what you used, what was the proposed idea, and what you have done in that. And at least you must have the basic detailings and should be able to explain the things. And after that, the subject knowledge. So for important thing is that they may ask that do you know the subject or not? Do you know this subject or not? So in my case, they asked, have you knowledge of electronic, not electronics, EMT means. So from EMT, they simply ask the questions from some basic questions from, can say, ferromagnetic material and all. So they can ask about the subject. No problem in that. They will ask whether you know the subject or not, or also they may ask in this particular subject what topic you are comfortable with. So in my case, if I talk about the analog subject, so basically, yeah, for interview, I have to again focus on these two subjects, because overall we are going there for the VLSI dominating department. Okay, and say all things are going to around the device and device fabrication, or not fabrication exactly, but device structure that comes under the electronic system, electronic devices subject. And after that, the use of the devices, so that comes under the analog subject. So from analog, they ask questions from can say amplifier. So in my case, they ask from BJT amplifier. And you can also expect high chances of MOS amplifier. And from diode family also, from diode, just application based questions. So at least you must have the knowledge of basic modeling of diodes, what different models we use for the diodes. In circuits, you must have the good analysis of the diode circuits. And in BJT amplifiers, you must have the knowledge of different topologies, currents, can say common emitter, common base, and common collector. And after, also for MOS, I can say same thing. You must have the some intuitive analysis, like we all know that we can apply the small signal to find out the whether gain, output impedance, input impedance. But at least you must have the idea of the basic structure, what can be the gain, that is a GMR, not in maximum case of common source amplifier or all. So we must also have the basic device gain knowledge, basic input impedance and output impedance of the device. And after that, whatever we connect extra circuitry around this device, you should be able to handle that circuits also, means input source impedance and whatever the sources you are using and extra resistances you are using. You must have the knowledge of, or can say, practice of handling these circuits. And diodes can say some tricky questions can be formed. So overall idea, I would like to say about the analog part, not so I should write not AMP. It is like analog. So it is analog. Okay. So in analog, I can say we must have the good knowledge of the basic concepts of BJT, MOSFET, diodes, circuits, circuit-based knowledge. And in electronic devices and circuits, we must have the knowledge of can say basic device physics, and phenomena. What is the mobility relation with the electric field, and what is the mobility relation with the temperature, concentration. So many good and can say tricky questions can be formed from here, and also good graph analysis may be asked from here. So if you have good knowledge of the device physics, then you can switch to the good questions or can expect good questions from diode also, not diode family. From diode junction potential, junction electric field, they can ask the question from that side. And most importantly, I'll say here also, MOSFET is again very important. And in MOSFET, they can ask the basic working, and also I can say design-based questions or career flow-based questions from MOS working, and also MOS cap is very important. MOS cap is important. MOS working is important. So this is the basic idea that I have given. And if you have any query, you can ask after that in comment. But this is my basic idea that I faced during the interview, that what was their intention to ask. So yes, I can again recap the things from very starting. So yes, a written test for 30 minutes, 10 questions, all the subjects that we covered in GATE. And may not be that all may not that all questions are covered from all the subjects. So 10 questions are there. So they may be like maths, electronic devices, and EMT also. And also can we ask some other subjects like signal systems, control system. I think in my case, they didn't ask question from control system. And so you can expect also, at least we must have the revision of all the basic subjects, whatever we studied in GATE. And after that, in the interview part, yeah, BTP or BTEC project is very important. Detailings, you should have the detailings, all the basic detailings. And yeah, or mainly two subjects I will focus here in interview part. This is analog, in analog BJT, MOSFET, circuit level, amplifier level knowledge, and yeah, diode, various can say topologies, or can say modeling of the diode, and how to use in circuit. So you analyze this part also. And in EDC, you can expect some good questions from device physics, then MOSFET working part, and also from diode, junction potential, junction electric field, carrier flow. And yeah, so this is basic idea I can share with you people. So thank you.